His name's Hector Garcia. Hector is a passionate accountant and trainer. Currently, he's a practicing CPA in Miami, Florida, focusing on small businesses that want to improve their operations with QuickBooks. He's a video master. But one of my favorite things, and I don't know, Ron, if you can see my copy here.
Yeah.
The list of accolades.
It's crazy.
Top 40 under 40.
Top 50 cloud accounting, North America.
Top 100 pro advisor.
300K views on YouTube channel.
Co-host on QB Power Hour.
Blog author in Intuit's accounting blog.
Also,
oh my God.
Yeah, also a blog author at QuickBooks blog.
Wow.
Also a blog author at Intuit's small business
Also
blog.
a course instructor at Udemy.
We're going to finish this after the show, man.
Top 100 small business influencer expert by Small Business Trends.
Let me tell you a secret how you get that many accolades. You got to be good at what you do. There's no
And you got to
question.
work.
And you got to be on video. We're going to learn how right here, right now. Hector, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, very excited.
Did we pump you up enough? It was like you're going into like a wrestling match or something.
No, that was kind of a crazy introduction, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. In the left-hand corner, weighing in at blog author 3 times over, 40 under 40. Hector, why video? Why not author books? Why not be a speaker? Why'd you start with videos?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me make a quick correction. It's 500,000 views in YouTube. Not 300,000.
All right. So first you punch me in the face, now you kick me in the gut.
Yes.
That's incredible.
Well, that is kind of the point. YouTube is the number 2 most searched website in the world. Obviously, Google number 1, YouTube number 2. Also, YouTube is integrated into the Google search. So it is possible that someone is searching just for a website or a link or an article, and they will land on a video. So you have this organic advantage of doing unique videos with unique titles that may match a search that a user is doing, and they may land on one of your videos. So I would say probably the number 1 reason why I chose videos as the number 1 way to market what I do in YouTube is because of that. Now, secondly, to answer your other question is, why not write books, or why not do radio, or whatever the other stuff you're mentioning? Well, first of all, I'm a horrible writer. Horrible writer. And also don't have the time for it or the patience. I don't know how you do it, Mike. In today's world, accounting is no longer, debits and credits and highly technical. Accounting and some of the work around accounting, it's very technical and very visual. Like today's software, it's about clicking buttons and pulling reports and doing things in your iPhone. And to describe some of these things is just very challenging. It's much easier to show it. Now, my regular business is doing QuickBooks training. Now, training means I show something it's 3 things. I listen to the client's issue. I try to extrapolate, from what they told me, what they really want, and what they're asking for. Then on the screen, I show them how to do it, and hopefully that will stick, and they'll learn how to do it, and that's essentially what they pay for. So because my main line of business is training, it only makes sense to give somebody a preview or a taste of what they would get if they hire me as a trainer in a one-on-one scenario or something like that.
So what you're suggesting is you're attracting prospects with your videos. What kind of businesses are you attracting for yourself? Like what kind of people are watching your videos, and what kind of business is it yielding for you?
That's a good question. So I started making videos about 2 years ago. Okay, so before 2 years ago, I had 0 videos in my YouTube channel. I made a personal commitment to take after the people I looked up to for years that make a lot of YouTube videos, like Bill Jelen, who's a famous Excel author. I watched a lot of videos that he made, like Seth David, which I think he's been in your show as well, who makes a lot of videos about other things. So these people I admired for what they do and the way they show off what they do. And they can command whatever price they want, because when people call my office, they're not finding out price or trying to figure out how much it costs. They say, I want to work with you, and then obviously, price is always a factor, but they walk in already desperate to get me on the phone or get me on an appointment. So the way we can command pricing, and we can, command specific conditions to say, yeah, I can do it, but you have to wait 3 weeks. Yeah, I can do it. It has to be this time and this time. For you to do that, people have to search you. One of the things, Mike, I get asked for in conferences is people ask me all the time, Hector, how do you find clients? And I say, look, this is, the way you ask that question, it's just framed wrong. The question should be, how do clients find you? And clients find you typically by looking for a solution to a problem. Now, the solution to a problem could be, how to handle a bounce check in QuickBooks. And they could land into maybe 6 or 7 websites that have either original content or, this reproduced sort of repurposed content, or they can land into a 3-minute video that explains everything A through Z, and the client says, wow, this guy answered my question in 3 minutes. And honestly, Mike, some people are lazy. They just don't have the time to read and validate the reading and test it. So videos also help a lot with that. So what kind of clients do I get? Well, first of all, in the first year or so of making videos, the vast majority of my viewers were actually my competitors. Let's call it that, my colleagues. There are people that are QuickBooks Power users like me, and they're looking for solutions for their clients, right? And they email me questions and things like that, and I spend the extra time answering questions to my potential competitors. Let's call them that. But what ends up happening over time is, as you make more and more and more content, and obviously, as you said earlier, you have to be good at what you do. You have to be well studied. You have to know what you're doing. My own colleagues run into clients that they can't handle. The issue is too complicated. Even if they were to watch every one of my videos, they just don't want to handle it. And then they go to that client and say, listen, with my eyes closed, I recommend this guy. Not just recommend this guy, Google him, right? Or search him in YouTube and you'll see. And that also helps me, right? When I try to issue a higher price than market value, let's say, and people say, well, you're too expensive. And I say, look, whenever you find the other person that you're comparing me with the price against, search them in YouTube and see how much content they have built, proactively for you for free, and then decide, whether you want to work with me or not. So the type of clients that I get are the ones on, and this is interesting, the concentration of my videos is in the most complex things in QuickBooks, like importing data from Excel into QuickBooks. That's one of my specialties. Or doing specialty reports, extracting data and building really specific reports. So I concentrate on making a lot of those videos. And not surprisingly, people that are looking for this really complex work are the ones that end up calling me, and they're the most profitable.
And so you've become an accountant for the accountants out there. From what I'm hearing is you're saying your competition's coming to you and relying on you. Aren't you fearful, though, that they're trying to steal from you, that they're going to take this knowledge and just run with it on their own? Isn't it going to compromise you in the long run?
Well, first of all, Mike, nobody owns knowledge. Okay, knowledge it's available for free in the world. And I think a lot of professionals, we make the mistake of trying to safeguard it and gatekeep that knowledge. I read a book recently called The Future of the Professions. So I really recommend it. It talks about the evolution of professions, and professions have pretty much held their own for so long because we have acted as gatekeepers and we block access to the knowledge. Like, we make sure accounting sounds complicated so nobody else does it. Lawyers make sure the law is and sounds complicated so nobody else practices it. So what I do essentially is I try as much as I can is try to make those technical translations into real life, real world scenarios. And yes, somebody can use my knowledge, what they learned, for their own profitability, for their own business, and I don't mind it. I think that as human beings, when we evolve into a 100% transparent knowledge sharing environment, it's going to raise everybody at the same time. One of my idols, Ron Baker, I listened to his podcast, I read his books. I started to think, how does he make any money sharing all this incredible information? But you know what? Honestly, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that he's made the commitment to share his knowledge, and like him and like a lot of other people that I idolize, I want to make the same commitment to both the industry and the small business community.
Right. That's great. And if you were to recommend somebody to start doing videos, what steps would they take? I mean, what if they haven't ever made a video? What would they do a video on?
Yeah, sure. So you definitely have to at least have the technical knowledge to be able to run a program that can do a screen capture. I think, in my opinion, because Intuit, and obviously I'm a QuickBooks head, right? So I'm going to be a little bit biased, but since Intuit has done such a great job at making sure that 5+ million people out there use their product, the best thing to do is to do a screen capture of a specific process inside the software. I would say that is low-hanging fruit. The other really important things about YouTube is if your goal is to get views or to go viral or just for the sheer volume, don't make QuickBooks videos.
Oh, I thought you were going to say do it in the nude.
No, right.
Oh.
Unless you can get your cat to reconcile a bank account.
Oh, that would be good.
That
yeah.
would be cute.
Right,
Yeah.
it won't go viral. So yes, to get 500,000 views in YouTube, it's not easy. But if you make a lot of the content and the content is good and the titles are good, you'll get them. I only have 150 videos. It's not like it's that many. However, a lot of these videos are an hour long. The other thing that I did is I partnered up with another pro advisor. Her name is Michelle Long, and we produce some of this content together. So we do content that we build, so we kind of share the weight in building content. Half of half of it is my work, half of it is her work. But we both put the video in both of our channels, so that lowers the weight a little bit. So I would recommend people, number one, find out what you're really good at and what you can sound good doing, what you can look good doing, and make a screen capture of that process. The other side of the coin there is, think about journals. I don't know if any of you guys keep a journal.
I do.
Okay, so you could choose to keep a paper journal. Why not keep a video journal? That's what I've done. Every time I learn how to do something new, every time I run into a weird situation where my clients teach me because my clients were creative enough to figure things out and maybe they needed a little bit more of a nudge from me to really, clean up the process. But I learn a lot of stuff from my clients. And when I learn something interesting, I write it down and I say, next video I'll make it on this. And I'll basically keep a video journal, which I make public, of everything I know how to do from my learnings, which also allows me to have this cathartic process in which I can get it off my brain and get it into some permanent record where myself or my staff can go back and reference.
Now you have 150 videos. That actually seems like a huge amount. I mean, how many things can you talk about when it comes to accounting? And if I'm starting my own video series, Hector, you already did it. How am I ever going to compete?
Well, I don't have any videos in nonprofit, for example, right? So if you're out there and you work with nonprofit, make a whole bunch. I mean, you know what? Compete is not the right term because the YouTube universe is so humongous that for somebody to say, oh, Hector already did a video on manufacturing assemblies, so I'm not going to do the same. That doesn't make any sense. The world is way too big. Plus, you know what? My example may not make sense to someone, and your example may make sense to someone. For example, I did a video 2 days ago about manufacturing olive oil in QuickBooks. Right? So going from a steel drum into a small bottle, and I talked about the entire process. Well, someone that manufactures something completely different may not connect with that video. So if somebody else is out there working with manufacturing clients and they manufacture, I don't know, shoes, right? And they use the shoe as an example, that may connect or resonate with someone else. So I completely encourage people to make videos, even if they compete with mine. I'm not selling them, but that's one side of the conversation. I don't sell them in YouTube. I do sell them in Udemy, but I'm not selling them in YouTube. So as far as I'm concerned, they're available for free to the entire world.
And it's funny, even in blenders, there was a series called Will It Blend? And I think it was 50 to 75 hysterical videos about one blender and all its functions.
I bought that blender, Mike.
Oh, do you have the BlendTech blender,
yes,
right?
I bought that blender, and every time I make whatever you make in a blender, a juice for someone, I always tell someone, hey, this thing will blend an iPhone.
Right, it does. It's called the BlendTech. How do you like that blender?
Oh, I love it.
What'd you pay for it?
$379. It's weird. I have this weird visual memory where I remember what I paid for everything. I must be an accountant.
Yeah. So here's the funny. I went down the street to the Walmart and bought a blender for say $50. It sucks. You can't. And the thing that came to mind immediately, Hector, for me was why didn't I make the investment in a BlendTech? I'm so convinced of its capability from that video series. I realized the mistake I made. And maybe that points to the whole thing we're saying here is the credibility is in showing, not telling. But now tell me about Udemy or whatever how they pronounce it. You can also make money making videos. How do you do that?
Yeah, sure. So something that's kind of weird, right? So I took some of my YouTube videos, not all of them. I took some of them and I edit them down into 20-minute segments because Udemy has a restriction that the maximum amount you can have is 20 minutes per segment. So it has to do with attention span or whatever, however is it that they figured out that number. Mm-hmm. So I take some of my videos, I cut them down into 20-minute segments, and I posted them into I have two courses. One is called Mastering QuickBooks Online, and the other one is called something like Pass a QuickBooks Desktop Test. So I have one course for the desktop side and one course for the online side. Now, please don't repeat this. Hopefully this conversation is just the two of us, nobody else hears this podcast. The videos in Udemy that I sell are the exact same videos that are free in YouTube.
Are you messing with me?
No, and people still
well, how is that?
People still buy them. You know what the crazy thing is? In the Udemy description, I actually type in there a collection of videos freely available on the web, compiled into one course. That's part of it. And people still buy them. You know why? Because people have searched YouTube before and they prefer to pay $10, $20 to get it in an organized fashion, to get them maybe cut. Because a lot of my videos are 1 hour long, an hour and a half long. So I'm telling you, most people, when they're searching stuff in YouTube and they find a video that they say, oh, this is perfect, but they see that it's an hour and a half long, they probably won't even start playing it. Right? So that's another important thing. There's a statistic out there that the 80% of the videos that go viral, 80% of the videos that go viral have a range between 2 and 3 minutes. Right? So, I can't show anything in 2 or 3 minutes. I'll show you how to open QuickBooks or open a check, but I can't show you a full process. So my videos are an hour long, an hour and a half long. So what I use Udemy for is to create sectional versions of my videos, put them in some sort of logical order. They sell for $20. If they click through my website, it sells for $10. If you want me to, I can go into the economics of how that works.
No, tell us the numbers. I love it.
Yeah, sure. So if you go to udemy.com right now, udemy.com, and you search QuickBooks, it's going to be like 10 or 20, 30 courses, right? One of my courses, it's $19 or $20 to the public. If you go ahead and you buy that course, Udemy will split that with me. So Udemy will take 10 and they will pay me 10. Okay.
You got 25 reviews. I'm looking at it right now. QuickBooks, Master QuickBooks Online, $20. There's a button that says take this course, 8 hours.
Right, exactly. So it's 8 hours worth of videos that I have there, right? So it's not one course. It's basically, as I said, it's a collection of edited videos that are already on YouTube, all put in there. Now, if you click through my website, there's a backlink. So if my customers buy the video, once they click through my website, Udemy takes $0. So there's an interesting business model that Udemy has. They say, if we sell it for you, that means somebody goes into my website, searches the content and buys it, we'll split the profits with you. But if you send us the client through a backlink in your website, then we'll pay you 100% for your video. So it's a very interesting business proposition, right? So right now, about 40% of the sales come from my website and 60% come from Udemy searches, right? So I'll take it all day long. I don't care. I'll pay 50% because I wasn't going to get that client in the first place.
And the other way, they weren't going to get that client. So now, since they bought it through your site, even though they give you all the money, they capture the information for that lead and they can solicit them in the future, I presume.
Yeah, great point. So once you sign up to Udemy and you have your account in Udemy, you're going to get emails every week saying, oh, this course went on sale, and Excel, and become a financial advisor, and learn how to use Word, and learn how to use your new blender in 20 minutes, whatever. You're going to get all this video, all these emails, and when people buy, that's 100% revenue to Udemy. Well, they'll split it with the course owner, but you know what I mean. So once they capture that user, they have like 10 million users, and this is the strategy that they use. The number 2 strategy I will tell the audience if they venture off into making videos in Udemy, it's make the course for free for 2 months or 3 months. Don't worry about money left to the table. Don't worry about that, because what you want is to have a lot of students signed up. That way, when you go sell it, if you go buy a course that has 3 students, you would say, that course is crap. But if you go to a course that has 10,000 students, even if the 10,000 paid nothing, people don't know that. So that actually helps quite a bit.
That's a little Jedi knowledge there.
No, you're double use. It's repurposing.
Yeah.
Hey, Hector, what about getting started? So folks listening in want to do video. What's the equipment, the software? Do you have some specific recommendations you can give us?
Yes, I have 2 recommendations. If you're working on a Mac, I recommend ScreenFlow. ScreenFlow is the software that I use. It's $99. It's extremely easy to use. If you have a Mac laptop, you're going to have a built-in camera, which is awesome. That's assuming you want your headshot in there. And you can also plug your regular Apple headphone into the jack, and the audio is pretty good. Now, as you move on, obviously get a better microphone. I have this microphone called the Yeti Blue. And that's about $100, and that's really good. But you're gonna have to soundproof your area because it's a really high gain microphone. But that's really all you need, honestly. And right now, honestly, if you are gonna make videos, you focus on QuickBooks Online, because that's the bulk of new users and the people that are going to be your ideal users. Now, if you're on a PC, I recommend to use Camtasia. Now, Camtasia, I also believe, is between $100 and $150, and it can record your voice, it can record whatever's on the screen, and you are going to have to learn, some editing tips, right? You guys edit your podcast as well, right? We have to learn some editing tips. But if you go to Udemy and you search for, make your own videos, there will be a course you can take on learning how to make your own videos as well. So just
if you buy it through Hector's site, he makes all the money.
No, it's not my course. It's not a course that I'm just saying somebody else made a course in Udemy and they sell it there. Right. So you can buy a $20 course on how to make your own videos as well.
You've been doing this for 2 years. I don't know if you know the numbers, but how many clients or prospects do you feel or know that this has generated for your business in the last 2 years?
Sure. I think a better question to use, Mike, is the quality of the clients, right?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
So in terms of prospects, I would say 1,000. Right? Prospects 1,000.
Wow.
Right. But let me tell you what I mean by that. In every one of my videos, I say, if you have any questions, email me. Now, think about that. That's a humongous open invitation.
Yeah.
So I get people from India saying, people that, no offense, but I can't understand what they're saying. They say, Hector, QuickBook help, check, don't work. Right. I can't.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know how to reply to that email. I just put that on spam. I don't worry about it. Or sometimes I say, what do you mean? And it takes a lot of time for you to answer these things. But every once in a while, you get this person that says, Hector, I'm trying to follow the video. I'm trying to import the items. I'm running into an issue. And then you go down and you see their signature and you click on the website and it's a $20, $30 million business. For you to reply back to them, say, sure, we'll help you. Here's my rate. I charge X amount per hour. It will probably take me 3 hours. Do you want to schedule something right now? And people usually say, yes, done. Right. So it's, so in terms of leads, thousands. In terms of the quality of the leads, they're excellent because people already heard you. So they know what you sound like. They saw that you have skills and they went out to reach to you. So they're not out there price shopping for, they're just trying to figure out how can I get the guy that's the expert at whatever it is that I'm looking for? How can I hire that person? Right. So you have to kind of understand it from that content. So thousands of leads, possibly from the ones that actually closed. I could probably count them. They're a handful, maybe 10 or 12, but none of them have been less than a couple of $1,000s in work because I handpick them, right? I handpick them. I have tons of leads, so I can handpick the best ones.
That's amazing. Well, let's wrap up on one last thing. You said sometimes it's tough to understand what someone that doesn't natively speak English, what they're saying. Let me try to say something in Spanish, because and tell me if you can interpret what I'm saying. Tú es mi hermano de madre diferente.
Right. Yeah. You're my brother from another mother.
Boom! You nailed it. Hey, Hector, I appreciate it extremely much. Where can people learn more about you?
Yeah, you can, again, you can email me at hector@garciacpa.com. I would probably say that's the best way to reach out to me. However, if you go to YouTube and search Hector Garcia, you will find my channel. If you go to my website, my website is garciacpa.com. That will forward you to my actual real domain name, which is a real bad one, but whatever. So garciacpa.com or hector@garciacpa.com. You can see videos, you can see articles that I've written, and you can email me if you have any questions. I would love to help you through at least give you some guidance in terms of what to get to make make videos. I won't show you how to make them, but you can purchase a video on Udemy for that.
Oh, well, thank you. Probably get another 1,000 emails.
Yeah,
Ron and I
absolutely.
can't wait to see you at the upcoming conferences, Hector.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hector.
All right, in a second, we're going to summarize what we learned